Trials and tribulations happen to everyone, but hope is essential to have when you're facing the difficulties of life. And my next guest is not a stranger to this notion. Here to share more is author Marlena Gardner. Hi, Marlena. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine.
You say everybody has trials and tribulations, do we?
Yeah, well, everyone has trials and tribulations in their life. We all go through hardships and times that we feel is not so easy. So
Some worse than others, I guess.
yeah, basically.
Yeah. Well, this book you've written is called Never Forsaken. What does that title mean to you?
Well, Never Forsaken, it's basically a book about faith conquering fears, faith in God, faith in Jesus Christ, basically. I went through a really hard time in my life where I was sick. I was giving birth to a disabled child, and it was a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety. So I had to basically count on God for seeing me through.
Okay, well, let's kind of back up to the beginning. Before your health scare, who was Marlena Gardner? I mean, where'd you live? What was your life about? What'd you do?
Well, I am a mother of, before my son, with the health scare, I have 4 boys. I'm married. So basically,
You're a housewife or working?
Housewife, makeup artist. I did a lot of makeup. Yeah. So that's who I was, makeup artist, housewife, mom.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Tell me about the health scare. How old were you? Where were you? How did that happen? Was it something you found out one day at a medical report, or was it a long process, or what?
Well, I was about 28 years old, I believe, somewhere around 27, 28. And I basically found out because I was pregnant with my 5th child. I became pregnant with my 5th child, which is my youngest son. And upon the tests, and they keep an eye on you through the whole pregnancy and everything to make sure your health is going well. Mm-hmm. So they basically found out that my child would be being born with a disability because they can run those types of tests on you while you're pregnant. And so in finding that out, I had found out also, upon them testing my heart, that my heart was enlarged.
So you found out both these things at the same time?
At the exact same time. Wow. I'm in the doctor's office, and she came in and she was like, your heart's a little big. And I was like, it's a little what? Because I know I do love a lot. I love hard.
You thought she was giving you a compliment.
Yeah, I was like, well, I do love hard. What do you mean? And she's like, your heart's big. And so that was scary to hear someone say, my heart's not the normal size.
Because you probably didn't exactly know what that means. You knew it wasn't good.
I knew it wasn't good. So, and then, a little bit after that, she was like, your child is going to be born disabled. We found white spots on his heart through the ultrasounds and the different tests that they can give you. So imagine me afraid for myself, afraid for my son, and I'm going, wow, all at once.
Were those two things, your condition and his condition, connected, or just some crazy coincidence?
You know what? That is a really great question. I would like to ask God that right now.
Your doctor might be able to answer that one.
Yeah.
Well, how did that, in all seriousness, no, we're laughing, but I can only imagine how you feel. You're in your 20s, you've got 4 little kids, another one on the way, and then you get this news not only about your next child, but about you.
Yeah.
Where'd your brain go?
Well, the first reaction, and I think the most natural reaction of any human being, is to be scared. And to have all this fear and all these questions, the whys, the whats, the whos, sometimes, and then with moms, when you're pregnant and if something goes wrong, a lot of moms tend to blame themselves. What did I do wrong? What did I not do right? And so that was something that I battled with for a little bit. What happened? How did I, get to this point where my child's going to be born disabled? Did I do something wrong? And so I learned, and I detail that in the book, Never Forsaken. I learned in my book, I put in my book, after learning about the ways that a child can be born disabled, has a lot to do with your age. With women, we have a thing where we can get past our prime for childbirthing and its demands.
But you weren't in your 20s.
And so I actually was like, well, I was just like 28 years old. I'm like, how am I over the hill already?
Right.
You know, but literally the doctors, you know, they explained to me and they reassured me that it was definitely a genetic thing with my age. And they were like, you're past your prime and for childbirthing and its demands. And so these are the risks when you're past your prime.
Well, we're going to pick up on this when we come back and talk more about how all this led you to write your book. And
Okay.
we're going to share some of that too. So stay with us here at STL Live. We're going to have more with Never Forsaken after this break.